Yo, 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 what's happening? Do a little check here, mic check, make sure this thing works. Lights are on. Threaded headwear, what's going down, man? Melody Sturgis, what's happening? Appreciate you guys for jumping on. Sign Chasers, what's happening? Christine Maldonado checking in from Florida, what's happening? Zerny, what's going down? Oh, yeah. Appreciate you guys for jumping on. All right, just trying to get this stuff situated here. Therese Andrews, what's going on? Hell yeah. You guys know what it is. Tuesdays we go live, TShirt Talk. These live streams right here live forever on YouTube. These will be posted right after this stream is done. You guys can go back and watch it. So if you guys got questions, shoot them out. Try to start answering them for you right away. For myself, I'm in festival prep mode right now, so I've been designing these last few days, getting some stuff ready. About to order some transfers tonight. Pick them up tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Thursday, and then get all my t-shirts ordered also. So we'll see what's going on, and then throughout the weekend into next week, I'll be stitching hats and pressing t-shirts for the festival. Festival's on the 19th and 20th. Black Noise, what's going on? Joel G, what's happening? You guys already know transfers are going to be from Supercolor. I'm getting the wearable transfers. T-shirts more than likely will either be Shockaware or AS Color Block, depending on the colors I'm thinking and sizes. But I won't have any tank tops this year. I usually bring tank tops, but this year I'm not going to do tank tops. I'll probably do 6 to 8 T-shirt design offerings, and then probably switch up some of the colors on some of those. And then hats, I'm just gonna whatever I could bang out is what I'm gonna bring. Obviously, a lot of it's gonna be the new LA script stuff. I'm gonna have that. Flip that logo a few times, and then a few other just random things. And then the homie Local Roots is gonna have a bunch of stuff out there, so should be ready. Heart and Hustle, what's going down, man? What's going on? Been watching your laser engraver videos. The one where you just made some metal business cards. That was dope. Live and direct from the Midwest. What's happening? Sacria working out. Hell yeah. Doing some right now. Hell yeah. Those things are cool, man. If you guys haven't seen Heart and Hustle, he does a little bit of everything, mostly everything though. You can find him doing embroidery, laser engraving, screen printing, t-shirts. He owns a store. He shows everything that he does. So make sure you check out Heart and Hustle. Dope ass dude, but really good content creator too, because he shows the process of everything that he does. That's usually one of my go-to guys if I have embroidery questions. Chances are he made a video showing how to do some stuff. So dope to watch him work. I get inspired from watching people work, because for myself, then it just like, I don't know, motivates me to get off my ass and start working. So check out Heart and Hustle if you get a chance to. Kind of on vacay and still watching. Hell yeah. Alex, I appreciate that. Enjoy the vacation though, you know what I mean? Only question for today is, what's your thought on brands that close their site to gather email or SMS, smart move or not. It all depends. If that's your marketing strategy, then obviously it's needed. But if that's not your strategy for marketing is building an email list, it's not really needed. A lot of the big brands that take on pre-orders or sell out really quick, they do it just to shut the site down because pre-orders are done or that collection is done or whatever they're launching. So like the big brands always do it, but if that's part of your marketing to build an email list, then it's cool. But it just depends on what flavor you're really going for. You know what I mean? Joe's the man from Heart and Hustle. Hell yeah, he is, man. We need to get on a live video call one day. Hell yeah, man. We got to do that. I'm down with that, man. Let's see. I know email marketing used to be a big thing back in the day, like building an email list, and still is. It's just changed a little bit, but if that's what you're going for, then by all means, go for it, man. For newer startup brands, I always say like closing the website down eliminates you getting orders or people that are interested in your products not being able to see the products. Like if the item's sold out, it's almost more worth it for you to just leave it up but marked as sold out just so people could actually see the products. So like closing it down for like a splash page or something like that is uh you know I wouldn't recommend it because I think I'm more interested in people seeing the products, even if it's sold out. I think they're less likely to sign up for your email list if they don't see your products to begin with. You know what I mean? That's my guess. Let me see. Anybody else got any questions, man? Shoot them out while we on. Probably do like an hour or so on here. And then I'm gonna get back to working on some designs and stuff like that. Have you heard of Creative Meadow? I have not heard of Creative Meadow. That is like a design platform software, or is it a brand? Not 100% sure what that is. Yes, design. Now I use Photoshop and Illustrator. Um, to me, it's just what I learned on, so I never looked into any other design platforms. People always ask me about Kittl, and I think that's how you say it, Kittl and Canva. There's another one, but those ones I'm not too familiar with. Only because people ask about them. I looked into it, but I never bothered into like getting dirty with it and actually trying to use it. I'm just more comfortable using Adobe products. Um, and I pay for the subscription for everything. That's what I edit my videos with is the Adobe Premiere. Um, I basically do everything with the Adobe products: Illustrator, Photoshop, a little bit of After Effects, Premiere, Adobe Audition, Lightroom for images and stuff like that. That's just kind of what I learned on, and I stuck with it. Even Brando, the brand I'm building is in launch mode. I wanted to ask, what's something you often see small brands overlook when they first drop? The main thing I see people overlook when they first drop is not paying attention to their customer base or to their target audience. Especially when people are in launch mode, they're more worried about the business side of things, right? The logistics of how things work. But a lot of people lose sight or never put too much thought into the actual customer, because what's going to help the launch is you creating products for that customer, so then that way you have a more successful launch. So if you're in launch mode right now, I would say figure out who you want to sell to. Like create a whole list, like write down the exact people that you want to like target and start promoting to, so then that way you have a better idea on when you do launch or leading up to the launch who you should be like uh pushing your products in front of, or getting people to look at your products, stuff like that. So that way the designs that you put up on your website or whatever you're selling kind of relates to a certain group of people that you're trying to sell to, and then keep building from there. You know what I mean? I always say if I'm ever trying to sell something, I try to add as much value to that group of people first before I sell anything. Because if you could add value to the group, and that value could be like information, it could be just engaging with people in there. The more people see you engaging with, people within that group that you're trying to sell to, the more likely they'll buy from you because you build that trust along the way. So knowing who you want to sell to, key. Like that should be the main thing that you want to like really pay attention to, is who exactly you want to sell your products to. So then that way, like, you have everything else laid out, like the business side of things and the logistics of the business, transfers you're going to use, the blank t-shirt you're planning on using, the website is probably all done up, all that stuff is already thought of and you got it locked down already. But I say the main, like, where you should be focusing all your energy is to the customer, if that makes any sense. Ever use AI to help design? Nah. Sign chasers, it's not that I'm against it or anything like that. I just haven't got around to like messing with it. Kind of old school. Like the way I design stuff is like I think of the concept, I write the idea in my notes app, and then when I sit down to actually like get a piece of paper and a pen, I'll sketch out the idea. And then if the sketch comes out cool, I'll put it in Photoshop and then I'll redraw it in Photoshop. That's my process on how I design stuff. So I haven't got around to idea into AI and then see if AI could create what I'm talking about. Let me see. Do you do this full time now? No, man. I still have a full time job, man. I'm the same exact way years ago when we got started on YouTube together. I'm still the same. Still got a full time job. I have the store and I have the shop now. I have multiple shops. Like you guys see me film in different locations, but I still got a full time job. Let me see, man. I love how down to earth you are. Take your time and get on live and answer people's questions, man. Justice, appreciate that. But that's what these live streams are for, man. If you got questions, you shoot them out. If I can help, I'll try to help out. You know what I mean? That's all these live streams are actually for, is just kind of like a spitfire way of me trying to answer some questions. Have you ever pressed on Pro Cali? Never even heard of Pro Cali. I'm guessing it's like a Pro Club kind of shirt. I've pressed on Pro 5 back in the day when those were around. Shockaware, obviously heavyweight, and then Pro Clubs, but I've never pressed on a Pro Cali. What's the longest you ever went without sale, and what you did during that period? Sometimes, like, if I'm not active on my social media, I could go weeks without like making one sale. The what I usually do, like if I'm not active on social media, like trying to get online sales and stuff like that. When I say active on social media, I'm just talking about engaging with people, making people aware of whatever I'm doing, you know what I mean, or whatever I'm trying to sell. Um, but if I didn't get any sales, that means I wasn't on social media. That means I was busy doing other shit. So it could be, I was out traveling, my store's down. Usually when I go on travel for a long period of time, I'll put my store under construction, my online store, so then that way no orders are coming in. Unless I got guys working at the shop that aren't on vacation also, they'll handle the online stuff. But for the most part, I'll mark it closed, like under construction, and then go travel and do whatever I need to do. But I have to be active on my social media, meaning talking to people, engaging with people, getting people familiar with my products in order to get the sale. So I'm usually dead on with doing that. Like I'll tell you, like in the morning, I wake up, use the restroom. If I'm taking a dump, I'm gonna be on my phone chopping it up with people in the morning, and I'll try to like knock down 20, 30 people of just like quick conversation stuff. And then I won't check my phone again until like afternoon time. And then I'll jump on and try to reach out to a few more people, follow up with people that I talked to in the morning. And then later in the evening, I'll do the same exact thing. It's basically it. But mainly what it is just me going to other people's pages and starting conversations. Same thing that I show in the videos and talk about in the videos is the same thing I'm doing. Like if you looked at my social media, like I've been selling those hats, right? So if you pay attention to my social media, or even if you just pay attention to um, my Instagram, so these posts are all gonna. Oh shit, it's not even in focus. I think it's because my face is there. So all the posts are these hats, right? So what all I'm doing is I know who I want to sell these hats to, right? So I'm going into their comments on their page, I'm talking to them, striking conversations. So then that way, when they click on my name, the first thing they're going to see is my name, and then they're going to see all of these hats. And the thumbnail is of the hat on purpose. So that way, when they click on it, they see it, and then they're like, oh shit, damn, that's a dope ass hat. And I already did my research, and I know that these people are either from Los Angeles, they're either Dodger fans, or they're just, maybe LA natives, just by what they post already. So I already know that they're would be somewhat interested in these hats. Hit up 20, 30, 40, 50 people every day. And then all of them not going to buy, but the more people you hit up, the more people are going to come and see your stuff. So basically all I do. So as long as I'm on my social media engaging with people, I'll be making sales. And that's basically how I run everything that I do. When I'm running a brand, I do the same exact thing. When I'm doing this kind of stuff, like selling these LA hats, same exact thing. I use food a lot to help get shares. I've been using beer to help get shares also. Whatever people will share on social media, I try to get that to target different audiences so they could come back and look at my page. That's the way I market all my stuff, and it's free. Just got to put in a little bit of work. Let me see. How many designs and shirts do you normally print for the event that's coming up? I'm doing like 6 to 8 different designs. I'll probably do, out of 4 or 5 of those designs, I'll probably do 2 different colorways. For my like heavy shirts, like my popular ones, like large, extra large, double X. I'll probably do, I don't know, 3 to 4 dozen of each of those sizes and each of those designs. So I don't even can't even do the math right now. Um, and then like the stuff that doesn't really move, like size small and medium, isn't that popular for me. Mostly those are display shirts, and usually that's like if a girl comes in and she likes the design, but I don't have women's shirts, they'll buy a small and then cut it up the way they want to. I'll go light and maybe like a dozen of those, maybe a dozen and a half of those. It all depends. The foot traffic at this show is thousands and thousands of people both days. So Saturday we'll probably see over 10,000 people walking by. Sunday, same exact thing. Different times are more popular than others, but it's just a ton of people. There's a ton of vendors. Um, it's a huge event. So I usually just bring a bunch of shit, and I have the luxury of having like my retail store. So whatever we don't move, or let's say we sell out of something, I could give out flyers and stuff to the retail store and be like, "Hey, I'm sold out at the show, but we're in stock at the store. So if you want to stop by the store next weekend, this is where we're located." Then you use it just for promotion. You know what I mean? Uh, Yali streetwear. No, I don't know what Yali streetwear is. This is my biggest problem. Don't know who my audience is. I just keep designing and try to target everyone. You should do it backwards then, Randy. I would do it way backwards. So if you're already designing and then now you're trying to find people, I would find the people and then design for that people. It makes things way easier, and then you know exactly who you want to sell those products to. Um, it, a lot of times we think whatever we design everybody needs, and that's not really the case. You know what I mean? So I try to reverse engineer that thought process there, and I find the people first, and then I design for those people. Then that way, once the design's done, I know who to market it to, I know who to test it with, I know everything about that group of people because I know who I want to sell it to. You know what I mean? What machine, tool, or software has been a total game changer for your business? Obviously, embroidery has damn, I would say way more than quadrupled my business since I got it. But embroidery for one, and then two, the pen tool on Photoshop. The pen tool lets you basically redraw whatever the hell you want to. And if you're bad at drawing, you could you could redraw anything. You just put it up on Photoshop, create another layer on top of that, and then you could just basically trace that. So the pen tool allows you to create basically anything you want. So I would go embroidery machine. To answer your question, embroidery machine's been a game changer for me, and learning how to use the pen tool in Photoshop, that seals the deal for everything for myself, because I use those things all the time. Even if I'm making text heavy designs, like a design that I'm using a font to manipulate that font, I'll usually take the pen tool and add extras to the font. Um, I purchased a lot of blank, new, old stock of porn star blanks. You know anybody that might be interested? I have no idea what that is, and I don't know anybody that'd be interested. When do you know when to hire more people for your business? It all comes down to how you facilitate like your work, the operation and stuff like that. It's like, let's say you suck at graphic design, like you don't know nothing about it, but you have all these dope ideas and concepts and stuff like that. Then you would hire a graphic designer to create all the ideas that you have for your business. Um, Same exact goes for, like, let's say you have an influx in work, and now you do contract printing and you're printing all day long and orders are backing up on you. Then it'd be time to hire somebody else to help with the workload. You know what I mean? It To me, it's like you play it all based off of business justification. You don't just open the shop and say, all right, I'm going to hire 6 people to run the shop if you don't have no work coming in. You know what I mean? It's like you bring the work in, and then as you see fit and as the need is there, then you start hiring people. That's how I approach it. Is that the best way to do it? I don't know, but that's just the way how, like, I approach it that way. What's your advice on getting your brand going on social media when you're not able to drop any products for like 6 more weeks out? Don't post nothing about the products. Post everything about the brand. Like, what is the brand? What's the brand name? What's the meaning of the brand? What's the brand story? What's the whole concept behind the brand? You have the ability of having social media at your fingertips to create and tell your story the best way possible, because it's coming directly from you. That's such a missed opportunity for a lot of people. Is the first thing people say, man, I'm not a content creator. You don't have to be a content creator, like a content creator in the sense of, you know, wanting to be like an influencer or something like that. You don't have to do that, but you have the ability to tell your brand story now, to build the hype for the brand. So when you actually have a product, you could actually drop it. Adding value to whatever you're doing before asking for anything in return is the key to life in this business. You have to add value to whatever situation you're in. Majority of the people out there, I would say 85% of the people starting businesses now are just asking for stuff. They're not adding value before they say, all right, I'm going to launch this, right? So Gary Vee has this book. That shit's called it's an old ass book. Like, maybe it's one of his first ones. The shit's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And it's basically talking about adding value to whatever you're doing, leading up to launching a product, selling something, doing some shit like that. You know what I mean? And that's the right hook. So you're just jabbing, you're just basically putting your name out there. You're putting your social media presence out there for people to see, for people to understand what you're doing. And then when you actually decide to launch something, a t-shirt, whatever it is, that's the right hook. So that way you already have a built up audience that's following your journey. And then now you're dropping something, and now you have a loyal following of people that have been waiting on whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? A lot of people do it backwards, and they get all the products made, and then they say, all right, on Monday, I'm going to drop all these products. And then they put them all on their website on Monday. And maybe for like that first week, they're posting the products and nobody's buying. It's because they wasted all that dead space time when they were waiting for their products to get done, where they could have been actually building up all the momentum for your brand's launch before you had any products. You could be telling the story about why your brand is what your brand is, the mission statement behind your brand, the color palette you're choosing to use. You could be going through you sourcing different blank t-shirts, like, I've been thinking about doing this one, but I want to do this one because it feels better or looks better or whatever it is. That right there is you're giving the inside look to your business, to your customers. And you should be doing that, because in order for them to trust in the brand, they want to see the brand. And if they can't see the actual product, you should be showing how you're paying attention to quality, what you're choosing to do, how you're launching this. Everything should be recorded and put up on social media to start building up the hype. And chances are you might not even do anything I just said, because you're like, nah, that shit's dumb. I'm not going to do that. Or I don't know where to get started. Or I don't have a camera to do this. Or I'm not a content creator, or I feel dumb in front of the camera. Whatever the excuse is, you got to try to get out of your own way and get very, very uncomfortable right now, so you could eventually get comfortable doing this kind of shit, because this is what drives brands. This is what everybody lives on social media. We all have social media. We all use the shit. We're all basically on it every single day. So if your brand is going to be an online brand, you have to have a social media presence on there. So I would start building it up. Like, if you haven't started now, I'd be doing it. You said 6 more weeks for your products to come in, 6 weeks of just promotion. This is just brand building, making people aware that your brand exists, and start adding value to wherever you're trying to sell the shit. You know what I mean? Uh, Not to share too much, about to join the military. Thinking, do I just close the site while I'm away, or find top 3 designs, leave on the site, press before I leave for training? What's your thoughts? That's a tough one, because I don't know how long you're going to be away for the military. If you have somebody that'll be able to like carry the shit on while you're gone, what I would do is I'd like bank up a shitload of like social media content now, pictures, videos, stuff like that, and then I just schedule all the shit to release while you're gone, so you still have that presence and still going on. As far as the website, it's kind of tough, because I don't know how long you're going to be gone for and when you'll be back to like get shit rolling again. But if you just left up some of the banger designs that you got, mark them as sold out if you don't have nobody to run it, just so you just have that presence there. Nothing wrong with that. What's the best way to find those people? I understand on social media, but how? Shit, that shit's easy, man. Use the search bar on Instagram. You want to look at, like, you trying to target people that go to street takeovers, type in street takeover, LA street takeover. It'll pop up every video around that shit. Anybody posting about a takeover is going to be posting about it. If you wanted to sell to that same group, but let's say you want to target a certain group of people that own certain cars, like Mopars or like Chargers and Hellcats, type in Charger, Hellcat, the shit will pop up. And then that's your target audience. So you just have to find who you want to sell to. That's all I do. Like, the shit that I do is I make stuff with somebody already in mind. Like the LA hat I just did, I'm targeting Dodger fans and Los Angeles natives. Easy call. There's tens of millions of people already making LA hats. How am I going to separate my LA hat from everybody else's LA hat? I'm just going to get in their comments and I'm going to figure out, oh shit, they posted they're at a Dodger game, or they're posting they're watching the Dodger game, or oh, they posted that they're wearing a Dodger jersey. You just type in Dodgers into Instagram on the search bar, and a shitload of posts pop up. Like, Instagram does all the work for you. And all you do is just click on each page. Boom. This person was at the game. Dope. I'll click on their page and I'll just look at whatever they post. It could be the most randomest shit that they post. And then from there, I'll just start commenting on the shit. Has nothing to do about the Dodgers, has nothing to do about whatever. It could be a picture of them at a concert or something, or it could be a picture of that person getting a haircut and be like, yo, where's that barbershop at? I'll ask the dumbest questions like that, just so I could create the conversation. And then curiosity will always get the best of that person. We've all done it. We've seen somebody comment on our shit and we click on their page and be like, who the fuck is this? Is this guy a bot? Is he real? Who is this? They're going to click on Big Brando TV. They're going to look at my page and then see within those 6 to 9 pictures, the little thumbnails, LA hats. I already did my research. I know this person was at the Dodger game 2 days ago. I didn't comment on the Dodger game, but I know he was there and he's a Dodger fan. So he's going to see my blue LA hat. Now I have a perfect stranger looking at a LA hat that they never knew existed. That's all I'm doing. And the shit is dumb easy. All I'm doing is commenting on somebody else's page, and curiosity will always get the best of everybody. We've all done it. We've all had somebody comment on our shit and be like, oh, who the fuck is this? Let me see who this is. Click on their page to see if you recognize the person and who it is, or who else follows that person or whatever. And then you're going to just scroll to see some of the pictures. And I try to keep like the first 6 to 9 pictures on there somewhat product related. Not all product related, but somewhat, so they could see it in the thumbnail. Easy call. That's all I do. And that's why, like, I tell you guys should be doing this shit too, because that's all I do. And it works for me. So if it works for me, chances are it'll work for you too. There's no secret behind the shit. It's just starting conversations. Hey man, embroidery is the best. Same here. Embroidery is a game changer. Dog, I can't even tell you what life would be like without my embroidery machine now, because of just how often it's on and we use it, and the amount of money it brings in is fucking crazy. It's wild to me. G6 Customs, what's happening? Let me see. Corey, what's happening? Do you mostly sell designs you create or mostly custom orders? I sell nothing but my own designs that I create. Especially this year, I haven't taken in any like contract work. I mean, I have my big clients, like corporate clients that I print for still. I'll still do them, but I don't take in new clients. I haven't taken in a new client in probably like over 8-9 years, maybe was the last time I took in a new client. It's just, and then now I just turn away a lot of clients, or I say, hey, I can't do it, but the homie over here does the same thing I do. He could take you on. So that way they still get the shirts done from a reputable spot. And then that's basically price comparable to me. So they still get their stuff done. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm going to hoard all the work. I'll pass the work off to the homies. Like, especially in my area where my store is located, there's embroidery shops, screen print shops, DTG shops. There's just printers and embroiderers all around me. Like in my little business park, there's a few embroidery shops and screen print shops in there. And yeah, if I can't take the work on and nobody in my shop could take the work on, then I'll be like, oh, you should go over here. Like, these guys are good, or these guys got good pricing over here. So I'll refer them to other spots. But yeah, this whole year I've only been selling my shit. I've been kind of focused on the store, like just filling the store up and getting people to come to the store and buy stuff. If you're not good at graphic design, would you consider going through a service like Fiverr? Yeah, you could find a graphic designer on Fiverr. Like, what I would use it for is you get a chance to see the person's work, and then you could hire them to do something, and then you could create like a good working relationship with that person. Like, let's say you guys vibe real well. I would hit them up on the side and be like, yo, I got some more work. You know, maybe we could work something out. But that's where I would use Fiverr, is to basically see a bunch of different graphic designers work, and then get a chance to feel them out and see what their vibe's like. And if it vibes with your vibe, then perfect. Then you guys just work out a little side deal and be like, yo, I'm looking for somebody that could do this. And then, you know, I'll just send you the ideas if you could just knock it out for me. You know what I mean? Have you used Kittle? No, I don't use Kittle. I use Photoshop and Illustrator. Never know who's watching. Some company out there might see what you're doing and how it can bring value to their company. Well said, Brando. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. I don't even take in work. Like, I've never promoted my shop or my services on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere. And I still get people in my comments and DMs every day, like, hey, how much to do this many shirts, or how much to do these hats, or what do you charge for this? I've never promoted that I'll graphic design anything for anybody. I've never promoted, let me stitch your hats for you. People just see what I'm doing and then they just automatically ask. So if you run like a print shop and you just show what you're doing, like, oh, this is me working, or this is me doing this, people are gonna hit you up regardless and be like, yo, how much to do this? As long as you do clean work, and like you're giving people an inside look at your workspace, right? It could be in your bedroom, it could be in your dining room, it could be in your garage, it could be wherever. You want it to look a little bit presentable for one, and then you just want to be able to show the quality that you can produce, and then people are going to see it and be like, oh man, how much is this? Where are you located? Oh, you right here? All right, cool. That's just how the shit works. Like I said, people in my DMs and comments all day long, hey, how much to do this? Hey, how much for 12 shirts or whatever? And if you're looking for work, fish them out of my comments. Go to my comments and be like, yo, he can't do it, but I could do it for you. We do the same exact thing. I don't care if you guys are in there doing that shit. Get that money, man. Rufino, what's happening? Lexar, what's happening? Alpha, what's happening? A man's advice, what's happening? Do you use models or just upload your merch by itself? I am the model, man. Every now and then I have my kids wear some shit. Maybe if the homie's wearing my shirt, I'll take a picture of them or something like that. But for the most part, I don't really I don't promote my shit like that. Like there's a dope ass brand to look at, is Easy LA. Easy.LA, I think is his Instagram. The homie Easy runs a brand. Dope ass drops, dope ass merch, dope designs, caters to his audience and killing it. But every time he launches a new product, he throws the dopest, like, I don't even want to call it like a party, but he curates a certain look that goes with every single drop he does and kills it every single time. Videos, stills, and then he just rolls the shit out, and it's fucking 1000% sick as hell. And yeah, check him out. EAZYLA. He does dope stuff though, and he uses models. Sometimes he uses homies. Sometimes he uses just people wearing his shit. Like for me, I don't do any of that. Most of the time, it's like the way I promote most of my shit is just either I'm wearing it, it's hanging up in my store, or something like that. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with using models though. What I would say though is, anytime people get models, the first thing they go to is like they want to get the alley shot. Like they want somebody wearing the shit in the grimy alley with the graffiti everywhere. Try to think outside the box. If everybody's getting the alley shot, go shoot the shit in the forest or something with some trees in the background. Like do something a little different than what everybody else is doing. Only because if every clothing brand is trying to get the same shot, the fire escape shot, or next to the brick wall that looks all dingy and crazy, just put the thinking cap on and try to do some shit. I know a lot of people want to emulate what they see already, but your clothing brand's not going to look any more street just because you're in an alley or something like that. You can shoot that shit anywhere. You know what I mean? I agree with you. Embroidery takes it to another level. Yeah, it does, man. Embroidery has been the game changer for myself. Ever thought about doing a school community, meaning like teaching this shit to people? I'm guessing that's what you're asking for. A lot of swap meets used to do embroidery. Hell yeah. When I used to first get my hats done, I used to do, this is fuck, man, probably 20 years ago. I was doing this shit probably in 2002. Well, shit, longer than 20 years ago. You guys ever see my LA hat, or the hat that says Island? It's IS, and then there's a LA logo, and then ND. When I first came up with that idea, I would just buy Dodger hats and I'd go to the swap meet, and then I'd have them embroider the IS and then the ND around that regular LA logo. Down to like I got the sizing right, the font was right, and I just go to my local swap meet, buy some LA hats, have them stitch it on. They used to charge me like $1 a letter. And back then, New Era fitted hats, and like I said, this is 2003 probably. New Era hats were like $25. So I'd get out of there with a $30 hat, and I was just wearing them, like I was making them to wear them, just to be different. And then I would hook my cousins and my uncles up and shit like that. But yeah, like I was going to the swap meets to get that shit done. Keep it up. Truly an inspiration. Rufino, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the kind words, man. I started with one embroidery machine and now have 11. Damn. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys got to watch the homie Heart and Hustle because he's showing you guys everything he's doing, how he's growing the business, everything he offers. He's printing banners. He's still doing like fucking window signage. He's doing laser engraving now. He does it all. But that should just tell you one thing right there. He started with one embroidery machine and now he has 11. And I want to say you probably had your embroidery machine, I might be wrong, but for like maybe 6 years or so when you got your first one, because I think I got mine in 2020 or 2021 or something like that. So you had to have got your shit before, way before me. Selling t-shirts out of the car. Yeah, man, the car move is always dope, man. I used to like selling shit out the car. Now would it work? I mean, it probably would if you have a dope kind of an ill concept. But this is where the selling out of the car kind of gets watered down. Is like somebody that's selling t-shirts, right? They'll post up and they'll try to sell some t-shirts out of the car, and they'll stage the whole thing. They're like, car trunk popped open, they take a picture or video showing that they're selling shit out of the car, and then they just use that for their story of, oh man, I've been selling shit, like I've been selling shit out of the trunk for this long, blah 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 blah. But if they never made no real money selling shit out the trunk, like I can't believe that. You know what I mean? A lot of people will use that just for the origin story of like, yeah, man, I've been doing this shit so long, I've been selling shit out the trunk. Fuck all that. Like I talk about me when I was selling shit out of the trunk, but I was more concerned about making money than being known for selling shit out of the trunk. I used to kind of think it was a little corny, like to be realistic. I would always be like, man, I wish I had like a swap meet spot or something where I could sell these t-shirts, because it was weird just selling the shit out of my trunk. And I didn't have no fancy car. I had a Honda Pilot, a fucking family man car. And I would just lay the back seats down, throw all the bins in there, and then pop the trunk open. But it's like people, they like that story and it sounds cool. So people try to emulate that. And then, they'll possibly just post up that they're selling shirts out the trunk, or some video of themselves. Like I used to sell shit in front of Staples Center. I used to sell t-shirts at on Hollywood Boulevard to tourists. I would just duffel bag full of t-shirts, all sized up, bagged up already. Then I'd hit Staples Center. I'd hit Hollywood Boulevard. I'd be on Hollywood Boulevard with the megaphone, with the bullhorn, trying to get people to buy shirts. This is all early 2000 shit, like 2002, 2000, yeah, around 2002, 2003. Staples Center one was the move though. Especially when the LA Live used to like crack, like when LA Live, I think, had ESPN Zone, Yard House, and all those spots. Oh man, we would be out there. I wouldn't have money to go to the game, but like a Laker game, but I'd be out there in the mix before the game started or after the game started selling shirts. But I say all that not to brag about that kind of shit, but there's people that use those types of stories to, try to create some kind of weird validation for themselves. Like, oh yeah, I've been getting this shit out the mud, or blah, blah, blah. Not even about that, man. It's just people want to see hard work. And then people also want to, like, if you're in the business to be famous, then you might be in the wrong business, because not a lot of people get famous off of t-shirts. Like, you probably better off doing some other shit, like doing funny videos online. But if you're doing the shit to like get money, man, if you was out in the street selling t-shirts, there's a lot of easy ways to make money selling t-shirts in the street. Like if you're doing it out of a duffel bag or out the trunk, you just have to be very creative with how you market yourself and the products that you're bringing to those places. Like, I tell this story all the time. A popular design that I used to bring to the Staples Center was, long time ago, if the Lakers kept the opposing team under 100 points, at the end of the game, you got free tacos. You get a little voucher for some tacos. So back then, at the end of the Laker games, if the score was, the opposing team was under, the whole fucking stadium, Staples Center, would chant, "We want tacos." So I made t-shirts that were all purple with yellow print that said, "We want tacos." I would sell them before the games and then after the games. And especially if the Lakers, like if the crowd got free tacos that night, that t-shirt would sell out every single time. But I can't sell that shirt anywhere else. Like I knew exactly what shirt I was bringing to the Staples Center for intended purpose. Like I couldn't sell that shirt anywhere else. Like if I put that on my website, nobody would know what the hell that meant. You know what I mean? Especially now, because I don't even know if they do tacos at Staples Center or at Laker games no more. But back then, it was such a big deal that it was an easy call. Didn't have the Lakers logo. It was in Laker colorway. And it was one of those things, if you're a real Laker fan, you knew what that meant. So it meant something to you. After the game, most people are drunk. They're hyped up because they got the free tacos and they see my dumb ass standing outside. Me and the homie would be standing outside of Staples Center wearing the shirt with a duffel bag, and we're just fucking slanging them $20. Boom, 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 boom. It was people that was like a size medium. All I had left was 2X, and they were already drunk. They were hyped up from the game. They were like, fuck, you got a 2X left? Fuck it, I'll take it. It's like, all right, cool. And we would leave with the duffel bags empty. You know what I mean? But it's bringing the right product to wherever you're going to be selling. So if you're going to do it out the trunk, you can't just bring everything you got. Like every t-shirt offering you have to cater it to who's going to be in this area, what the popular shit is, stuff like that. You got to be mindful about what you're bringing if you're going to be selling shit out the trunk. But there is ways of doing it still. You know what I mean? Best embroidery for beginners, I would say Racoma, only because that company backs the shit out of their machines, man. Like you want a company that is going to help you get up and running. Um, you don't want a company that's just going to sell you a machine and you're buying into it because it fits your budget, and that company doesn't even train you to use it, or there's no real customer service for that. If you needed to troubleshoot something, you, if you're going to spend the money on and invest the money into a piece of equipment that expensive, invest into a company that actually backs their shit. That way it saves you a lot of headaches in the long run. Let me see. Never Scared Lifestyle is a good one to follow. Never Scared is the everything I talk about when I say like, hey, your brand name don't sell. Never Scared is the complete opposite of all that shit. Like there's people that win when it comes to logos and brand names and stuff like that. And they're one of them. Like these motherfuckers got, I think they're on their second store, third store. I don't know if they're in Salinas or Santa Cruz. They're somewhere in Northern California, but they're dope as hell, man. Dope as hell. Hey, Rufino, I appreciate that, man. Let me see. You ever try the little mini press things for neck labels and sleeve hits? I don't own one, but I've seen one. And I've seen a lot of people use them and they work. You're talking about like the little handheld one, right? It's like the size of your phone, just you just press it down. Those things are cool. I don't own one, but I've seen people use them. I also seen people use that same thing for hats. They'll like hold the hat and then press like transfers on. Let me see. Good friend of mine just celebrated 30 years in the t-shirt game. Hell yeah. Started selling his first shirts out of his car at a car show. Now he goes to shows pulling his 20-foot trailer. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Justin Jacobson. Hell yeah. That kind of shit is dope as fuck. Like the guys that like do t-shirts and are successful in the t-shirt space, that do it because they love the shit. Oh man, that's one of the illest things ever, man. Like, because you can see the progression, but also you just see the longevity within the business, right? Like this business goes up and down like every other business, right? But if you could actually see the shit and adapt to what the new shit's coming out, and you can still follow not really the trends, but you can follow the waves of your customer base, you win all day long, man. There's people that know how to navigate that shit for sure. You know what I mean? And your homie is one of them. Knowing your market is key. Knowing your market is everything in this business, man. It just is. Let me see. One of one, what's happening? Hit the trade show so you can see all the machines. G6 custom main line, man. Hit the trade show and start joining raffles at the trade shows, and then you could win free machines. I was there when G6 Custom won his first sticker printer, man. I was standing right there when they called his name. It's pretty dope. I'm in Georgia. I would try to sell a LA hat, but shit, put a duck on a hat and put something southern on it, and I'll sell them all day. That's exactly it, man. And I wouldn't even know, like, if I try to sell some ducks or some country shit here in LA, people look at me crazy. You know what I mean? It's just knowing where you're at, knowing what you're doing, and uh, basically you're just trying to. I will say this, but I'm always trying to make the sell easier on myself. So knowing my audience is going to make the sell easier on myself. Creating a design that I know will relate to that audience helps myself also. It helps the sell because I don't want to have to sit there and explain a design to somebody like, hey, check out this shirt. I designed it like this because of blah, blah, blah. By that time, they already lost interest. You know what I mean? I want somebody to look at the design and that shit speaks to them without me having to speak for it. That right there makes the sell easy on myself. Pricing makes the sell easy on myself. All of those things help me make money a little bit quicker. And that's kind of what I try to show on my channel is like a lot of times, you know, we put a lot of thought into certain things and yeah, it's cool. Some of the thought that we put into it is cool, but we could go really deep in the weeds sometime as the business owner because we're all wrapped up in our own brain that we start to overthink shit. And this business, you really don't need to overthink anything, man. The most simple shit always works. They do work for the neck. Love that little heat iron. Yeah, you're talking about the little handheld joint. That thing's cool, man. What's the cost difference between pressing shirts versus embroidery? Machine supplies? Well, for sure, machine, big difference. Let's just say $15,000 for a machine, for an embroidery machine versus, I don't know, $1,000 heat press. Consumable cost on embroidery machine, pretty cheap. Spools of thread, $5, $7. Foam for like the 3D or the puff look on hats is pretty expensive. You could get like some like 9x12 sheets, 3 mil, maybe like 6 sheets of that, like $10. But then off of one of those, you could get like 12 hats done or something like that, depending on the size of the design. So that's kind of cheap. Bobbins are dumb cheap. You get like a box of 140 bobbins for like $10. Needles are dumb cheap. You get a box of like 100 needles for probably like $14. Everything's pretty cheap, but the machine's expensive. The learning curve, not too bad. As long as you have the right teacher, it's not too bad. As far as shirts, like, you know, if you're just pressing shirts, the entry is pretty cheap to get into it, right? Because I mean, I said $1,000 for a heat press. That's speaking like if you were going to get like a true spec heat press or something like that. But if you got like $500 heat press, make money all day long. Buy some transfers, some blank t-shirts, make money all day long. I'm getting inspired to do some teaching videos. Do them, man. Rufino, like these are the main when I watch like TikTok, if I'm looking at TikTok and there's all kind of stuff in my feed, and if I see, let's say, another person using a heat press showing what they're doing, right? And I'm not affiliated with them or nothing, but I just see them showing what they're doing. Those are the videos I usually comment on because I think it's dope that people are out here teaching and showing what they're doing. One, it's helping the next person, and then two, there's something for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I might not be the best person to learn from, maybe because somebody doesn't agree with the way I look or the way I talk, but maybe they take better, like they learn better from like a woman, or let's say they learn better from somebody that looks like them. There's nothing wrong. Like I'm not offended by that. So I think the more people that are teaching and the more people that are helping others, the better. Like I think it's dope. I highly encourage everybody to get on there and show what you're doing and teach people what you're doing. Show them your mistakes, show them, you know, the wins and the losses. Because the shit to me is we have the opportunity now as business owners to share all the inner workings of what we do. The shit is dope. Like this has never been done before. 20 years ago, like you wouldn't know who the hell's printing what or doing what because nobody was talking about it. But now you have the ability to like basically see the inner workings of everybody's business. I think that shit is dope. One, it inspires other people. Two, it motivates them. Three, it teaches somebody something. It's informative. You know what I mean? Is it worth it to buy a DTF printer? If you wanted to sell transfers, it's worth it. If you didn't want to sell transfers and you're thinking about just printing for yourself, not worth it. That's just me being 1,000% honest, man. Those mini irons are harder to use for items you plan on washing, but probably okay for hats. You can't tell if the pressure and heat settings are right, like you would with the HPN signature heat press. I agree with that. That's 1,000% true because you're just basically going based on your own pressure. Like you're dialing in the heat, like the temperature, but then your pressure could be different every single time. So 100% agree with that. What up, though? Do you take custom orders on hat embroidery? I personally do not, but if you hit up the homie Heart and Hustle, he probably does. He does dope ass embroidery work, and he just told us that he has 11 embroidery machines, so he'll knock the shit down. Off of a day, Glenn, what's happening, bro? Thanks for jumping on. Um, shout out to uh, shout out to everybody from Guam, all the Chamorro people, man. About to open doors, having an existing clientele that will buy my designs. My question is how to carry a supply of blanks in several colorways and all sizes and not go broke buying them. That shit's hard, man. I limit the colors that I offer because of that. I would hate to invest in a shitload of like red doesn't sell good for me. I don't have a lot of clients that wear red, but let's say I wanted to drop something in red, I'd waste a ton of money trying to stock red shirts. So that's why when you come to my store, majority of the shit's black, because it's just easier for me to stock black. One, it's a cost thing, and then two, it's just a popularity thing. I only try to carry. I know there's people that come in and be like, I wish you had that design in this color shirt. And I'm like, I wish I did too. But you got to remember, if I'm going to be offering this color shirt, I got to stock it in every size. And that, if one person is going to buy this shirt, cool. But I don't want to have to buy 3 dozen of these other sizes and nobody's going to buy this shit. So I usually just tell people, like these are popular colors. This is what I stock. So I personally don't stock a bunch of colors because it's fucking expensive, man. And it takes up a ton of real estate, like shelf space. I mean, you guys all know what dozens of t-shirts look like folded up. That shit takes up a lot of space. Do you like screen printing better than DTF? I like the process of screen printing. Like actually printing myself. I love the process of screen printing. I don't do it for business anymore because there's no money in it for me. Um, you need a lot of space for it, and you need, yeah, you need a lot of shit. Like you need a lot of things to do screen printing. But when you're working with transfers, it's a little easier. You just need a heat press, and then you need a company to buy transfers from, and you're off and running. So for me, convenience, durability, transfers all day long. Not necessarily DTF, but like I use super color wearable transfers. It's still a screen printed transfer. It's still a transfer at the end of the day. Um, I prefer that over screen printing. But if I'm the one doing the printing, I like the challenge of screen printing because the shit's kind of fun. If you do buy a DTF printer, please, please, please do your research. If the cost is cheap, it will be cheap. I agree with that 1,000%, man. I agree with that. Print house, what's happening? No red, no, yeah. Have you ever tried white toner? I don't own a white toner printer. I've talked to a few of the companies that own white toner printers. I think they're cool, man. They have a space in the print space. Like what I would get one for is just to do temporary tattoos. And this probably sounds stupid as hell, but to me, when I found out those white toner printers did temporary tattoos, I was like, fuck, I'd fucking sell a shitload of temporary tattoos, man. One, I know a bunch of homies that are tattoo artists. I do collabs with them and have them design some flash tattoos. I cut them out or print them out on the temporary stuff and then sell them to kids, or like I'd sell them to parents that have tattoos. This is just a business model. Somebody could steal this if they wanted it, but I was gonna have tattoo artists create custom tattoo designs and do a collab with them. So then that way we could sell the temporary tattoos to kids, but we're really selling it to parents or uncles and aunts that have tattoos that they want their kids to have tattoos, or nieces and nephews to have tattoos. It's that was the only reason why I wanted a white toner printer, was because of that. But buying one like just for that, I don't know how many I'd sell. That's kind of just like a fun thing that I wanted to do. Would be kind of crazy. But I think I was talking to the homie Ruben, the t-shirt buddy. I think he has a white toner printer, or he used to have one, and we are talking about that. And I was like, man, I just use this shit for temporary tattoos. I wouldn't even use it for t-shirts. The one thing I don't like about white toner for t-shirts is the whole like you print it on one page and then you got to get this other page, and they call it like an A and B marry system. So you like stack up the A and B page, heat press that, and then you have to peel the backing off and then you press it onto the shirt. Just seems very time consuming for myself. So it wouldn't work in my shop and for what I do. But if you're just creating one-offs and doing custom orders and shit like that, it's not too bad. But for temporary tattoos, that's where the fuck I do that shit at. Like I'm going to this Hawaiian festival, I'm gonna be vending it. Imagine if I just had a bunch of temporary tattoos of like Hawaii tattoo, like Polynesian tattoos for kids, and then all these little kids running around tatted up. That shit will be funny as hell. Like you probably make a ton of money too. Petty Ways, what's happening, man? Rufino said, great idea. Yeah, man. Like that's the only reason I'd buy a white toner printer, to do temporary tattoos. Learned a lot from you. Appreciate real shit. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Virginia checking in. If you got a brand or business, type the brand name down in the chat so I could see who's in here. We did this last time we did it. I know your username might be different from your business's name. That way it just gives me an idea on who's in here, what the business is and shit like that. You know what I mean? We will be in Quantico, Virginia in 2 weeks. Hell yeah. I think I said that right. Quantico? Quantico? I'm thinking about buying the Racoma Creator to start my printing and embroidery business. I bought the HPN 15x15. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, get that money, man. Miss M Creations. That's dope. Miss going to the Wahoo swap meet at the stadium. Yeah, man. And they about to get rid of the stadium. Well, the swap meet's not going to go around the stadium no more. They're like building out the parking lot where it's just going to be in the parking lot, because I think they're going to do construction on the stadium. So the last time I was there, which was like last month, I think, or maybe the month before that. No, last month I was in New York. Before that, when I was in Hawaii, we went, and it was still around the stadium, but they're like repaving this parking lot, so they're going to put the swap meet there. Corey Howell said, pull up gang. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Easy Street Sneakers checking in. I restore sneakers and sell dope merch down in Atlanta. That's what I'm talking about. You talking about like repainting the shoes, or are you talking like sole swaps and all that good stuff? Adrian from N Kappas. I think I'm saying your name right. 3D hats. I met you in Hawaii event last year. Oh yeah, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I do remember that. Let me see. Inspirational Designs. Charlotte, North Carolina. John Barton. Hell yeah. Dagger Skateboards right here in SoCal. Thanks for all you do. Where at in SoCal you located, Dagger Skateboards? And do you just sell like skateboard decks, or are we talking all hardware, everything? You're doing trucks, bolts, wheels, bearings, everything. Or like skate shop, or you're customizing the decks? Let me know. Justin Jacobson, Diversified Threads. I wouldn't even try to pronounce the city that you're from. I'm going to say Roanoke. Roanoke. I'm probably saying that wrong, but you're from Virginia too, man. Shout out to Virginia checking in, man. Nice. I was stationed there for 3 years. Loved it. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Do you ever get a chance to go back with the family? Stationed there for 3 years is pretty dope, man. I guess I'm not in the military, so I wouldn't know. But do you get a choice on where you get stationed? Like, can you say like, "Hey, man, I want to go to Hawaii"? Yeah, soul swap, repaint, customs, all of it. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's dope as hell. Decks and grip and merch. We manufacture the decks in Fullerton. Oh shit, hell yeah, that's dope as hell. Shout out to Dagger Skateboards, man. Manufacturing skate decks and shit in Fullerton. That's what I'm talking about. Man, one of my first jobs was working at a skate shop here in Gardena. It was called Sporting Ideas. This is like that shit's been around when NWA was in the Rhodium swap meet. Sporting Ideas was a booth in the swap meet also, and they ended up opening up a shop on Redondo Beach Boulevard, same street as the Rhodium swap meet. My brother worked there, my uncles worked there, and then I ended up getting a job there. I was only like 13 at the time, and I started working there. And my job basically was folding T-shirts and using the little press to put the bearings in wheels, and I'd grip boards, and that's basically all I did. After school, went over there, and that's all I was doing: gripping decks, putting the bearings in wheels. Big hell no, they send you where they need you. Damn. I like the hat you use. What's the name? You've said it in your videos, but I don't remember. I use I use auto caps for my 6-panel snapbacks, like the regular standard snapbacks, but I use the ones that are made out of acrylic and wool. I don't use the cotton polyester ones. And then the A-frame hat, excuse me, that's AS Colors A-frame hat. It's just called the frame hat. Heart and Hustle said, I did. I was deployed, re-enlisted, and had the option to go wherever I wanted. Was a no-brainer. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. And thanks for your service, man. That's another reason why you should go watch Heart and Hustle, man. Veteran, and he's killing shit, meaning killing shit in the print world. Thanks. Yeah, not a problem. When I sell T-shirts out of my car, how many designs should I bring? Only bring the bangers. Only bring the popular shit to the location you're going to be at. So if you're going to pull up in your city, let's say you know where the popular areas are in your city, know the demographic, know who's around, and bring the shit that's going to speak to them. I'll say this: if you did some shit, I don't know, let's say you're from Chesapeake, whoever said that was from Chesapeake. If you made some shit that said like Chesapeake, Virginia, or some shit like that, um, it'd be easy call. Somebody would see that and be like, yo, what the hell is that? They'd stop and take a look. Your whole brand doesn't have to be about the city, but if you have a design that relates to that city that you're selling in, makes life way easier. That it'll make people stop, it'll make people look at what you're doing, and then you can show them the other shit you're selling. But you need something to grab attention. So by grabbing attention, I mean you need to make something relatable to them, and then they'll come by, see what you're selling. What's the difference between merch and a clothing brand? That I don't really know, man. Like that's always a constant debate. But for myself, I don't give a shit about none of that, man. As long if you're selling T-shirts, I don't care what you call yourself. Still a business at the end of the day. But I would say like right now, what I do is I sell merch, meaning there's no real brand behind it. There's no name behind it. Like most of this shit is just random fucking designs I'm making to put in my store. My store is not a clothing brand store. My store is just my retail store where I sell shit that I make. And I cater the shit that I make to the community that I'm around. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't call my shit a clothing brand. My shit is just a retail store that sells big brando merch, because there's no branding behind it, I guess. But yeah, I don't put too much thought into a lot of that shit. Hope from Colorado, 316 Apparel. That's what I'm talking about. One, shout out to Colorado. Two, shout out to 316 Apparel or 316 Apparel. What's your experience with Econo Transfer? Oh man, I used to use Econo Transfer for all of my shit. All my vinyl used to be done with them. The puff vinyl was dope. The reflective vinyl was really dope. Um, I used to use the regular Econo V, like the standard shit too, but mainly puff. When I would do puff designs, it would always be with Econo, and then the reflective stuff. You guys know I ride bikes. We do a lot of nighttime riding, so I used to put the reflective shit on all the LA rider gear. One, so people could see us, and two, it's just kind of a different print. But then when the company went down, it kind of messed everything up. What label printer do you use? Looking for one with the small footprint. I use the Dymo Label Writer 4XL. It's probably like, I don't know, footprint's probably like 4 inches by 5 inches, maybe, kind of tall. Um, it feeds the labels off a roll, thermal printer. I like it. I've had it for years. I don't even know if they make that model anymore. What I hear is a lot of people don't like that because they don't like their labels. Like if you're printing a lot of labels, like on a regular day for myself, like let's say I print, I don't know, I get 20 orders, 18 to 22 orders or something like that. Printing all those out, they get rolled up, like they're constantly curled. And a lot of people don't like that. So they get the thermal printers that are longer, but then the labels are fed off of like accordion style, like they're like Jack in a Box folded, Z folded, and then they feed straight through the printer. People like those a little bit better. Um, the rolling of my labels, it doesn't bother me, but a lot of people say they don't prefer that. So I guess that's one thing. If you're looking at buying the same one that I have, my labels feed off a roll and they're constantly curled up. Starting my business and I really need help. What is the best heat press? Anything from Heat Press Nation. When I say buy something from Heat Press Nation, I'm saying buy from a company that backs their products. The reason why is because if something goes wrong, you want customer service to help you out and get you up and running. So I would go based on that kind of shit. Like for me, it's always going to be Heat Press Nation. They have presses for all budgets, from the M Press to the Craft series to the Black series, Signature series. All of those presses fit different budgets. And then when for heat presses, just because a press is more expensive doesn't mean it's better. These things are just built for production. So let's say a press that's a little bit inexpensive, like the Craft series press from Heat Press Nation, compared to the Signature series. Price difference is hundreds of dollars in between. The Craft series presses are made for like somebody that's going to do, a few t-shirts in a sitting, right? You're not cranking out a ton of volume. You're just doing a few t-shirts here and there, custom stuff, fulfilling orders. In a sitting, you do 20, 25 t-shirts, all good. But then let's say you're doing like 100 t-shirts. It'll be hard to do 100 t-shirts on the Craft series because that press isn't made for that type of production. Can you do it? Yeah. On the Signature series, it'd be a lot smoother and easier to do because the heating element is built for production. That's usually what you're buying into. So the more expensive the press, usually it's built for the higher end ones, like the more expensive ones are built more for high production. Meaning you could press hundreds of t-shirts without any failure, without the heating platen getting all weird, cold spots, stuff like that. You'll hear a lot of people talk about that. When people start to experience that, it's because the heating element in those presses are built for certain production. If you're just doing low quantity shit, the lower the inexpensive presses will do you just fine. Just be realistic with yourself. You know what I mean? But also, I highly recommend buying from a company that backs their machines, because if something does go wrong, you want to be able to have somebody help you get back up and running. The big one is like Heat Press Nation. I've seen this with my own eyes. They got spare parts for every press that they sell in their showroom or in their offices. So if you call and be like, "Oh shit, my button went out, like the light doesn't work no more," they'll send you a brand new button. It's shit like that. I've had my presses from them for years and I haven't had any issues, but in case something does happen, it's cool to know that they got some spare parts. They pulled some shady stuff when they shut down. Oh yeah, talking about Econo transfer. When it went down, they didn't tell nobody it went down. And I was just like, trying to order like everybody else. What's the cheapest way to get a cease and desist without a lawyer? Have no idea, man. Anything that has to do with any trademark infringement, people stealing IPs and stuff like that, it has to be fought in court. So that kind of stuff outside of a lawyer, have no idea. G6 says the Rollo thermal printer or Rollo thermal printer. What do you do when life tries to stop your process? Like how you keep focusing on your business? Money, man. I'm motivated by money. The only thing I'm thinking about is, all right, how can I make some money? How can I get people to buy this design? Or if I'm driving around and I see something that motivates me, or like I can make a t-shirt for that certain niche, if you want to call it that, I go for it. Let me see. I hope you're getting your labels free. I'm not getting my labels free, but I bought on Amazon. I had bought, I want to say each roll has 500 labels. I can't remember how many labels come wrapped up on that roll, but I have bought a case of the shit and I bought it by accident. So I'm still going through those. I've been going through that box for some years now. I just bought a new one. Hopefully I can do an unboxing video on it. This one is nice. I think you're talking about thermal printer. Let me see. There's a lot of auto 6 panels. Yeah. I told you I just used the uh acrylic one, acrylic and wool. Got a good deal with Heat Press Nation Cutter refurbished, open box 16 by 20 signature series for 800. Thing was brand new. Yeah, majority of those refurbished ones are brand new, or it might just be somebody opened the box but never used it and returned it. That shit happens all the time. Do you offer consultations and how to contact you? Yes and no. Right now I'm not because I'm a little busy. But when things start to slow down after festival season for myself, I'll open that back up, and it's usually like, I don't know, $60 or something like that. I'm pressing 45 shirts right now, front and back. I've been using the signature press from HPM for 6 years now. It hasn't failed me. Yvette Sanchez, that shit right there, man. th- my signature series, my 15 by 15 that I've had forever, that thing has never failed me at all. Like that thing has been a staple in my shop. Let me see. War Paint, Southern California, t-shirts for Native Americans who play res ball and work out. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. Super, super dialed in, knowing exactly who you want to sell to. Obviously, you're already in that community, so get that money, man. That's what I'm talking about. How was your experience hiring and developing an employee? Most of the time, when I'm hiring somebody to work for me, I'm looking for somebody I can vibe with, for one. Um, you know, I don't go based off of interview questions because I feel like anytime somebody interviews for a job, they tell the interviewer all the shit they think they want them to hear. So for myself, like even for my day job, when I hire people, I go based off of vibes, 1000% off of vibes. So the questions you're going to hear from me is your resume is going to tell me all your experience and the shit that you're good at and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to say shit like, are you a Target person or a Walmart person? I'll say shit like that to, one, throw people off. And then two, it gives me a chance to understand why somebody shops at Target versus Walmart. This is giving me a better look at them personality wise. Like if I was hiring you to be a let's say to run my embroidery machine, first thing you do is you're going to come with all of your embroidery experience. I've worked on this machine, this machine, this machine. I worked in these shops and blah, blah, blah. That's cool. Your resume says all that, perfectly fine. I trust that you know your way around an embroidery machine. But do I get along with you? Can we go out for a beer after work? Or if you don't drink, are you going to be cool enough in the shop around other people that drink beer? Is you know, offensive language something that you don't like? Is, are you cool with listening to reggae music in the shop? It's stuff like that that I need to really go based on vibe versus going based off of experience or whatever you had chat gpt put on your resume for you. You know what I mean? So for me, it's always going to be personality and vibe, top shit. um that's how I go. And then as far as developing the employee, as long as somebody's just not complacent, as long as somebody has somewhat of some goals of what they're trying to do, then I'm going to try to help them along the way, any way possible. You know what I mean? What base cart do you recommend for the HPN 15 by 15 signature series? I use workbenches. Um, that's the easiest thing for me. Sturdy ass tables. They usually go in garages, but if you looked up on Home Depot, Lowe's, Sam's Club, Costco sells them. Just look up workbench, 6-foot workbench, or whatever size workbench you need. I use the 6-foot ones. Those things hold up all my presses. Each workbench, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 of them in my shop. The ones that hold the presses are holding a 15 by 15, a hat press, and a 16 by 20. And then the other table is holding the same exact thing, a 16 by 20 hat press and a 15 by 15 press. Sturdy as hell. It's adjustable. You could, set it higher, set it lower, whatever you feel comfortable with. That's what I use. I don't use those little carts though. Shit, hire me. I cuss, drink beer, and love me some collie buds. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. For myself, you know, the only time we hire people in the shop and store is when there's a need. Right now, I'm fully stocked up with people that work in the shop. Um, and I was like, there's people always like, hey, man, I'll come work for you for free. And that's cool. Um, but I wouldn't be the best person to take on even an intern like that, because I feel like the intern needs a lot of guidance, but also needs um, the same amount of energy that they're giving me, I should be giving them. And when I'm just busy and I'm not in the shop, then that person doesn't get the benefit of what an actual intern does. You know what I mean? Um, Walmart, but I mess with Target. Yeah, that's always like a easy icebreaker, I guess you could say, when it comes to like interviewing people and stuff, to get a sense of somebody's personality. Heat Press Nation is a very good company. All my presses are from there. So far, so good. Haven't failed me. Yeah, same with me, man. The setup with the wood piece for your hat prep station on your. Did you make it yourself? I didn't make it. My dad made that. So um, it's kind of set up like a hangman. You know, like the game hangman. It's kind of set up like that. We just did it to the height that we felt comfortable, because in my old shop, we had it on the side of a table. We had like a little piece of wood screwed into the side of the table, and it was like the perfect height. Before that, we just had the hat hooping station attached to the machine, and it was too low, and we was hurting our back loading the hats on. So then I just asked my dad, "Hey, can you just build me something that shit's on wheels?" And yeah, he just built it so we could put the hat hooping station on there. How do you press? I stand up when I press. Don't fall for the hype on the stalls heat press. HPN is just as good, if not better. Hell yeah. Art and Hustle, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. We'll jump on a live one day, drink a couple beers on me. That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to it, man. Appreciate you though, brother. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, man, Heart and Hustle is one of the bigger reasons why I started leaning towards Racoma, because I saw he had one, and then I felt a little bit more comfortable getting a machine from them, because I could ask Heart and Hustle for some tips and shit. I haven't had to, but he was one of the first ones I seen that had a Racoma or an embroidery machine. Him and Rye Beats were the first two dudes I seen outside of A-Dub. A-Dub did it too, but he's always been sewing and stuff. But like the printers, it was Heart and Hustle and Rye Beats. Rye Beats, I think, has a Tajima. I might be wrong. I don't think it has a brother. I think it's a Tajima, and then Heart and Hustle had a Racoma. And I was watching them make hats, and I was like, damn, that's dope. I want to do that shit. Um, and yeah, I went with Racoma, thinking I'm gonna need Heart and Hustle's expertise, but Racoma got me up and running. I never had to bug Heart and Hustle to give me some advice. But yeah, shout out to Heart and Hustle, man. If you guys want to operate like a full on like print shop, watch him. Right Beach just got another Tajima. That's what the hell I'm talking about. Right Beach stepping that bitch up, man. Hell yeah. I got lucky. My hooping station attaches to my embroidery machine. Dope as shit. Yeah, man. Mine, I was using like the little metal brackets that holds the little table part. Like when you're doing like the big stuff, like big flats, we flipped that sideways and we just had our shit attached to that. I found a good place to attach it to, I should say. It works and it's dope. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Doing that, it's just easier on your back. You know what I mean? If it's the right height for you to hoop shit, because we was doing it low and we were killing our backs, man. Seen a comment have like Resball t-shirts in my red bubble. Transition them into a Shopify starter, $5 shop, or a $12 big cartel shop soon. A Native American store soon. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Resball, man. I don't know what Resball is, but the shit sounds like it's cracking because everybody's into it. All right, man. If you guys got any more questions, man, shoot them out. We almost did an hour and a half. I wasn't even planning on being on this long, but appreciate y'all, man. This one's gonna stay up, you know what I mean? So it's gonna go on after this is done. If you wanted to go back and rewatch it, if there's anything that was said in here or on the chat that you wanted to go back and check out, it'll be on YouTube. So I do this shit every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And for myself, I never used to keep these things up, but since there's so many people asking when I was doing these live streams to keep them up, I'm just gonna start keeping them up on the ones that we record on Tuesday. Outside of the Tuesday schedule, I'll go live randomly here and there in the evenings. So if you catch them, I'm just on here trying to answer questions and help the people out. All right. Appreciate everybody for jumping on, man. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.